Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Marriage Man. Today we're going to be continuing our series in How to Survive Infidelity. So, welcome back. Again, if this is happening to you, very sorry it's happening, but keep watching these videos, keep working on your marriage or your relationship, and things will get better. So, today I want to talk about what to expect. What is normal? A lot of people that I've seen and counseled and helped with have really taken a lot of help knowing, is this normal? Because most likely you've never gone through anything like this before. And it's crazy, it's emotional, it's so different than any chapter of your relationship that you have had before. And so if I can just take some time to normalize what you're feeling, normalize what you're going through, I think it's going to do you a lot of good. So, what I want to talk about today is what is normal to expect when you're surviving infidelity. And this is going to be a little different because we're going to talk about both groups, both the betrayer and the betrayed. So just follow along with me. So first off, what is normal? What can we expect? And what I'd like to tell people is that if you are the betrayed, if you are the person who your partner was unfaithful, whatever that means in the context of your relationship, if that's you, what are you going to go through? Well, if that's you, what you're going to go through is what I call the crazy cycle. And the crazy cycle is made up of three things. And it's not that you're going to experience one or two, but you're going to experience them all. And so what are they? Well, first off, it's you're going to be thinking about your partner and what they did a lot. A lot, a lot. So it's very normal for your mind to just keep going back to it. And part of that is trauma. Because what trauma is it's something that blindsided you. It's something that didn't make sense. And your mind has a picture of, this is what my world is supposed to look like. This is what my reality is supposed to look like. And you found out that that was wrong, that you actually didn't know something. And so what your mind does is it takes all that information and it throws it out and it starts back over from scratch. So that's partly why you're going to be thinking about a lot of stuff. You may be thinking, God, did he ever love me? Did she ever love me? Was she ever honest? Was he ever honest? What about 2 years ago? What was going on then? What about last week or last month when they said this? And you're going to go back because it's kind of like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't feel safe. Like if you feel like somebody's in your house, what are you going to do? You're going to get up, you're going to check every window, you're going to check every door, you're going to check every room until you feel safe. Even though every door is locked, every window is locked, every room doesn't have a burglar in it, but yet you're still going to check. And that's kind of what you are doing when you're on that crazy cycle, is you are checking, is this still accurate? I thought this was happening 2 months ago. Is that actually what happened? I thought this is what happened 5 years ago. Is that actually what happened? And you don't want to, but yet your mind will just keep taking you back and keep taking you back. So that's the first thing about the crazy cycle. The second thing is that you are going to be feeling very strong emotions: anger, sadness, hopelessness, depression. All this stuff is very normal, but yet you don't want to. You don't want to look at your partner and feel anger. You don't want to look at your partner and feel fear, but yet you do. And that's normal. So what else? What is the last thing? So when somebody, and you think about this logically, when somebody is thinking about something all the time and they don't want to, and they're feeling incredibly strong emotions and they don't want to, what are they going to do? They're going to control. And control looks different for each person. Control is not about controlling the partner, it's about controlling these two things. It's about controlling your emotions and it's about controlling your thoughts. So for some people, this may look like, I want to talk about this. And then even though you're done talking about it, I still want to talk about it some more. I want to talk about it up until the middle of the night. I'm at work, I'm freaking out, I'm texting my partner. I want to talk about it. For other people, it may be, I don't want to talk about it. In fact, I don't even want to be around you because being around my partner brings all that stuff up. So I actually start to distance myself from my partner. That could be control. Control could also look like, let me see your phone. Who are you texting right now? Okay, I want to see that. Or it could be putting a tracker on somebody's car. I've seen that. Um, could be saying, where are you? Are you at work right now? Or, hey, you were supposed to be home at 6. It's 6:30. Where have you been? And your emotions go crazy. And you don't want to, but you do. So that's why I say control. And again, control is not because you love it. It's not because all of a sudden you want to become the police officer in your marriage. It's that you don't want to keep thinking about this. You don't want to keep experiencing strong emotions, so you try to control. So that's why I wanted to talk about that and understand that and to normalize that, because if you are in a relationship where there's been infidelity, let me speak to that real quick in that infidelity will not kill your marriage. It will not kill your relationship. All right? It won't. And the reason I could say that is because if having an affair or being financially unfaithful or whatever it is that happened in your marriage killed marriages 100% of the time, we would see that numbers play out. But we see marriages and relationships surviving affairs and other forms of infidelity. So they don't kill them. So why does it kill this relationship but not this one? And the reason is because the real marriage killer, the real relationship killer, okay, is resentment. That is what you have to watch out for during this time when either you or your partner is on the crazy cycle. That is what you have to watch out for. And you say, okay, what is resentment? How do I know it's there? The easiest way you can tell if it's there is the word should entering into your vocabulary? Are you saying it? Is your partner saying it? Either should or shouldn't. Because what resentment is and why it's different than anger or sadness is that resentment is anger. It's a type of anger. But it's an anger that is this idea of, here's this line, and you shouldn't have crossed that line, and you did. Or, here's the minimum standard. This is what every husband or every wife or every partner would do in this situation, and here's what you're giving me. And you should be doing this. Why is that different? Because when you start thinking along the terms of should and shouldn't, what changes in your heart is that now you feel wronged. Because anger and sadness is like, okay, this sucks, and I'm just going to have to endure it. This sucks. Resentment is, this sucks and it shouldn't. It shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't be doing this. You should have done that. And what that does inside your heart is it makes you pull away. It makes you sit back, cross your arms. Sorry, I got a little further away from the mic. It makes you cross your arms and say, I'm not going to do anything until you make it up to me. And the problem with that is that when you pull back from your marriage, when you pull back from your relationship, relationships thrive on constant energy and life being poured into them. And when one partner pulls that energy and that life away, the marriage only spirals down and it gets worse. So you have to watch out for resentment. Now, where is it going to show up in this crazy cycle? So if you are the betrayed person, okay, where is it going to show up? Where do you have to watch out for it? You're going to have to watch out for it early on in the healing process, because usually where it typically shows up is you're looking at your partner and you're saying, I need this from you. I need to talk about this, or I need my space, or I need to see what's on your phone, or I need to know who you're talking to, or I need to see your bank account. And you genuinely do. Because again, you don't want to feel this way, and you don't want to keep thinking these thoughts. So you're trying to control, and you need your partner's help to control these. And so you're asking for this stuff. And maybe initially your partner's pretty okay with it, but as week 1, week 2, week 3 goes into it, month 2, month 3, your partner starts kind of pushing back and saying, hey, I don't really want to stay up until 1 a.m. talking about this. I'm really getting tired of having to show you my phone every single time you get in your head that I'm betraying you. And that's where resentment can build up in your heart, because you're looking at your partner saying, I need this, and you're not giving it to me anymore, or maybe you never gave it to me in the first place. And you should. See the difference? So when you start thinking that way, now you're starting to feel wronged. Not only did your partner wrong you by being unfaithful, but now they're not letting you heal. So that's where you can become resentful, and you have to watch out for that and guard your heart against that. And we'll talk about how to do that in another video. But if you are the betrayer, where do you have to watch out for it? Where you have to watch out for it is actually later in the healing process. Because this doesn't happen in every relationship, but some variation on this does. In that couples a lot of times as they heal will actually kind of get a second honeymoon. And again, I'll talk about that in a later video. But there's this period of time where things are kind of better. And then things get worse. You thought things were getting better. You thought by answering these questions, you thought by giving your partner your phone or your bank accounts or whatever, things would get better. And maybe for a while they did. Or maybe they didn't really seem to get better. And so you kind of want to stop. It doesn't feel like this is helping. And so you stop. In fact, you start to get resentful at your partner because we should have been gone. We should have been past this. I put in so much work to repair this relationship that should, hear it again, that should have made you trust me. And part of what you have to understand if you're the betrayer is that the crazy cycle is in your relationship for the rest of your relationship. And I know that sucks to hear, but you need to hear it. So it's going to be in your relationship for the rest of the time that you guys are together. Now, ideally, if you've handled it well and you've healed from it, it's going to show up less frequently and it's going to cycle through faster. Meaning instead of your partner being disrupted for days at a time, maybe they're just disrupted for an afternoon or an evening and then they're back to normal. But it's always going to show up again. Okay? It's always something that it's like when you stick a sticker down and then it pops up and now you have to push it down again and it pops up. You have to have that mindset. You have to have that expectation of you are going to have to deal with this on a cyclical basis for the rest of your relationship. And as long as you can have that mentality, you can kind of accept it, okay, the crazy cycle's back, let me deal with it, and then it'll go away. 2 or 3 months later go by, pops up again, okay, I'm dealing with it again. And if you have that mindset, again, you don't have to like it. In fact, you probably won't like it. But that's an emotion that can survive a relationship versus it's popping back up again and it shouldn't. That's when your heart may grow cold. That's maybe when you may pull back and say, you know what, I'm kind of tired of doing this. So that's what you guys have to watch out for. That's what's kind of normal. And again, we're going to keep going with this. We're going to keep talking about this in other videos. But for right now, leave a like. If you had any questions or concerns or comments, just leave them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.